Hey, what's happening, gamers? How's everybody doing? Thank you for waiting for Legend of Zelda, and thank you for watching the Zelda short that took me 2 or 3 hours to make. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And people were asking, like, what type of person would do that at Nintendo of America? It's like, well, I can't get into too much details, but it looks like the investigation that fans are doing. Um, it's more or less the same thing that you would expect. It was an activist, someone who does not like straight relationships, and they purposely did it. So now I guess we'll find out what happens when Nintendo of Japan. They're obviously going to say something in a few days. They'll have to, because this feels like it was done deliberately. Because, I mean, let's face it, these people have been losing their jobs. They have been losing ground in the game industry. There's been about 9,000 people that were fired over the past year and a half, and they lost a grip of, what was happening to the game industry. They've been losing localization jobs and all kinds of things. But it just, I don't know, this feels like their last desperate struggle to kind of, like, really stick it to gamers. So that's what's going on. I didn't have all the information, so I didn't want to run with it like, aha, it's one of those people, but it's one of those people. So, but don't harass people, don't go and, say mean things to their Twitter. I'm sure they'll get reprimanded by Japan tomorrow, probably. Or they might lose their job. You don't know. Because Nintendo just started filming the Legend of Zelda movie, and it looks like, Link and Zelda are obviously going to be romantically involved. We don't know what type of story it's going to be, but Zelda's wearing blue, and Zelda only wears blue in a couple Zelda games. She wears blue in A Link to the Past and her civvies, and she wears blue constantly in Breath of the Wild. Her royal dress is based on a blue gown that her mother wore. Her blue adventurer costume is based on the colors of the champion, which Hyrule's colors in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is blue. Oh, did you do something with the heat, honey? Did you just turn it up, or?
I did because it's freezing.
Oh, okay.
Is your problem?
I just had a head twitch. I'm okay.
As soon as I pressed the button, you had a head twitch.
I don't know.
It hasn't even kicked in yet.
Let's see. I don't know. What did you put it at, by the way?
69, but it takes a long time to
Yeah, 669 is fine. Should be, yeah. As long as it doesn't go to 70. But yeah, I was having leg problems today, so. But I hope you guys enjoyed the short.
Yeah, if you guys haven't watched the short yet, make sure you guys watch it. Luke put a lot of clips into it, and it's a nice discussion video about, whether
No, it was just.
it's not really a question like if
It's
Zelda.
proof. It's proof
It's
of.
not really a question if Zelda and Link are a couple. Like, it's obvious they are. The localizers obviously messed it up.
Well, yeah, they did it. It sounds like, just based. I don't like to be that guy, but when you see people's things in the bio and they have a certain hair color and they have other things written in their profile, I mean, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna do something at the job they work at. Like everything is based on a pattern. Like it doesn't. You know the old saying, like everything checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty.
It's just something they do.
Yeah, it consistently showed their blossoming relationship in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, says Miss Deanna.
Mm-hmm. Correct, Damon.
And it even implied it showed a lot of sacrifices on Zelda's part. No one sacrifices everything for a friend, says Miss Deanna.
Mm-hmm. Correct, Miss Deanna. Yes.
Well, that's like,
And not every, just so everybody knows too, not every Zelda game do Link and Zelda actually end up as a couple. There are some games where they are just friends. Because,
Yeah.
Link has somebody.
like, Yeah, it just... I mean, I thought Luke made a great point in his video where he said, like, I mean, like, he was like, I wouldn't let some random girl touch my hair. And the fact that she plays with his hair and she's, like, you know, touching his face or whatever, it's like, it's not something you wouldn't do that to a friend from work or something. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, you obviously are in some kind of relationship. And I mean, I was just thinking to myself, like, you know, like, even when Luke and I first started dating and Luke made all these sacrifices for me, like, he built me a computer and...
Oh, yeah, I remember
he
that.
took time off work to, you know, drive me places that I really needed to go. And I was like, wow, you're like the nicest person in the world. And Luke was like, no, I'm not this nice to everyone.
Yeah.
Like, he had to explain it to me, like,
No.
I like you. That's why I'm being this nice to you. Like,
Yeah.
So it's like, it was interesting that, I mean, because if you go to Luke's job where he was like a assistant supervisor, no, he's not nice to people when he's like I don't want to say ordering people around, but being like a boss to people. He wasn't nice to people at his job.
Yeah.
And you know, and like one person like asked Luke, a friend from his school one time, basically asked Luke, like, said that they needed a ride at 4 in the morning.
Oh, that story. Yeah.
So they called Luke on the phone and were like, hey, I really need a favor.
Oh, this story. Okay.
And then Luke came over to the person. He actually did. Surprisingly, Luke, you're a pretty nice person in a way. He did go to this friend from school and with his car help them with the ride. But as soon as they were like, hey, how's it going? Good morning. And he said, get in the car.
Context. What time was it that person needed to go to work? And why was I like that?
I thought you said it was like extremely early.
It was extremely early in the morning. There was a snowstorm. And I had just gotten off I just closed the restaurant. So I'd only had like 2 hours of sleep. So I got done at work, like, I was there all day because I had 2 jobs. I worked at the bookstore at the college, like the year that I went without you, like my first, when I was there by myself, because I needed money, right? So I worked at the bookstore in the afternoon after classes. Classes got done around noon. So I worked from noon until like right around dinner time, and then after dinner I went into Dish Pit at the college. So I did that from like 7 at night until like around 1 in the morning or something like that. And he had like some type of maintenance shift or something at 4 in the morning. So that means I only got a couple hours sleep, and he was having problems, and he called me at the other dorm. So that means I needed to walk all the way to the parking lot where the cars were.
Oh my gosh.
In the snow, so the snow was up to past my ankles.
Oh my gosh.
And the snow was like pelting me in the face like little pellets. Like it was the bad snowstorm of like 2001 or 2002 in upstate New York. It was really bad. So the snow was pelting me like little pebbles. I was super annoyed. I was very cranky. And I did do him a favor. I picked him up, but I didn't want to do chit-chat. It's like I pulled up to his dorm. He's like, hey, man, thank you so much. I'm just like, get in the car. It's like, yeah, I'll take you to work, but just shut up.
Right.
And I'm going to sleep. Yeah. That's what happened, though. It was like, and thank you, Miss Deanna, for the super chat. You're breathtaking.
Thank you, Miss Deanna. Says, don't worry about it, Mr. Luke. If everyone understands everything about the internet, that everyone would ship people together regardless, even if the relationship wasn't there or isn't there.
Yeah, but it was...
They would still ship people.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, I know ships are a thing, but what I was saying, which has been common knowledge since 2017, is Nintendo of Japan made it very clear that this Link and Zelda, for the first time in, you know, I wouldn't say 30 years, because they also said that Skyward Sword, Link and Zelda were basically the Adam and Eve of Hyrule. Like they're the ones that repopulated the world. the world below, not the world above. Because Link and Zelda stay in the land of Hyrule, the ancient land of Hyrule, and they repopulate it. She becomes the goddess Hylia, and Link is, I don't know what Link is known as, the hero of the skies or whatever. But they're the Adam and Eve characters. Spirit Tracks is like thousands and thousands of years after Skyward Sword and like hundreds of years after Wind Waker or whatever, I think. And that Link and Zelda that have no relation, they end up together. But that's after like Zelda endures a lot of hardship of literally be turned into a ghost. The banter and the dynamic between those characters, even though they're in junior high or whatever, it's so adorable, and it's pretty clear that that Link and that Zelda would do anything for each other. Like, that's, you know, that's love. That's not just friendship. There was more to the relationship. And then Nintendo took it a step forward with Breath of the Wild, where they really showed the romantic, heavily implications of the characters in Breath of the Wild. And if you actually went through and completed all the major side quests for Zelda's memories, she tells Link at the end, she has two expressions. One, if you found all her memories, like, do you know, she says something to him. But if you did all the memories, that smile at the end that I showed in the last bit of my thing, where she's wearing the blue shirt, and, you know, she asks Link, do you really remember me? And then she has, like, this stupid, goofy, like, girl in love smile, and they pan out. You can see Link and Zelda run to embrace each other, but Nintendo pans out and denies us even a hug back in 2017. And then in 2023, they have Link and Zelda so close to each other at the end, where it looks like they're going to kiss, but she stands up and then she just, like, closes her eyes, like, very, like, sweetly when she says his name. The way she says his name throughout Tears of the Kingdom, and, like, almost like the long-distance relationship they're forced to have, like, you can tell how much she loves him. The thing that happened...
Definitely the way that she says his name. It's
sounding like the NOA localizer is one of those people that just hates certain characters getting together and, you know, just use their job as a localizer to mess things up. And unfortunately, there are people like that who, when they see a relationship, especially a straight couple, and it doesn't adhere to their agenda, they do this in anime all the time. And what happens is, usually, the anime person has to, you know, get involved and be like, no. There was a localizer years ago in that took an SAO thing and said that Kirito and Asuna were just, like, you know, they were classmates or something like that. And the author got involved on social media and basically said, you know, fire that person. Because he wrote a romance and a marriage between Asuna and Kirito. It was a big deal. But this person obviously didn't like that ship, and they, at their job, they did something stupid. And it got them fired.
Yeah, like, they should translate it exactly how it's written instead of how they wish it was written.
The problem with American localizers, especially of the activist variety, is they like to change the story to fit their narrative because they aren't a fan of that ship. They don't like it. It makes them mad. Like, I'm pretty sure this person was a Sidon and Link person. So,
yeah,
you know.
I mean, this is exactly what they've been doing in public schools, too, though. Is like, they feel like, oh, I have a chance here to change what reality is, and I can warp somebody's mind and switch it so that no one knows. Like, oh, there's a bunch of kids in front of me, so instead of telling kids about reality, I'm gonna skew reality and tell them a different reality, a reality I wish was real. And tell kids about this, and make kids believe there's a different reality that doesn't exist. You know, so it's just weird. Yeah.
So somebody asked Nintendo of Japan years ago, like, why didn't you just go right out and show Link and Zelda kissing and hugging in Breath of the Wild? And their reasoning is the player is Link, so while they had so much heavy hinting at their relationship, that they are a couple and stuff like that, they also wanted to keep things very subtle, because, like, you are Link. Like, everything that you experience is happening through your eyes, and while romance was a part of their story, they wanted to keep things, like, pretty subtle, or, like, you know, make your own interpretation for stuff. But they never intended for that Link and Zelda to be considered friends. Like, what happened with Twilight Princess was devastating. Like, a lot of people really liked the way that Link and Zelda were in Twilight Princess, but, you know, the guy who wrote the story of Twilight Princess essentially said, well, the lady who Link ends up with in that universe is Ileana, or Ilian, or whatever. It's the mayor's, or not the mayor's daughter, the, maybe she was the mayor's daughter. I don't remember.
She was a girl from his town.
She was the childhood friend, yeah. And some people don't like that because, like, they say that there's romantic implications for Link and Zelda in Tears of the Kingdom. And there is. Or not Tears of the Kingdom, in Twilight Princess. And there is, but Link is already... Basically, Zelda in that universe is kind of like Mipha in, you know, in Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity. She's, like, totally smitten with Link, and she'd do anything to help him. But Link is not looking at her. Link is, you know, wants to keep his childhood friend safe because that's the girl he grew up with.
You just got a gifted membership from Leo the Conqueror.
Leo the Conqueror? I haven't seen you in a while, buddy.
Thank you for sending a gifted membership to the channel, Leo the Conqueror. And
hi, Leo.
All Hail the Queen has gotten a gifted membership from Leo the Conqueror.
Hi, Granddaddy. Where you been?
Granddaddy Otaku says, apparently I've been a 9-month Kwing homie.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, you became a member when we were doing a Xenoblade game.
People didn't like that Link went for the childhood friend and not Zelda, says Misty Anna.
Well, there was a manga, Misty Anna, where they really gave, like, Midna at the end in the manga for Twilight Princess, she kisses Link. Like, in her, like, you know, mommy form, as people call her. Like, you know.
Oh, right, where she looks prettier.
Right. She kisses Link in front of...
She doesn't look like a little kid.
She kisses Link in front of Zelda at the end, and Zelda's, like, jealous and stuff. But yeah, Link in that universe ended up with the childhood friend.
Like, you have a lot of people talking about it in the chat, but basically some interesting comments from people, but... I just wanted to say, like, what sold it for me, that they were definitely a couple, especially in Twilight. Just my own interpretation of between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I think it's when Zelda goes back in time in Tears of the Kingdom and talks to Sonia. I think that's a huge clue because she only talks about Link to Sonia all the time.
Yes.
And, like, Sonia is always asking about Link and how, you know, like, oh, I have to go back so I can see him. And, like, it is so heavily implied that Link and her are very much like Rauru and Sonia. Like, Sonia has this knowing look, like, oh, yeah, do you have... I really thought there was a line in there where she said, do you have someone... You know, and Zelda's like, well, there is someone. Like, why would that be her friend? That doesn't make any sense.
That's the thing I noticed about Tears of the Kingdom is they do have several of those moments. But the thing that I was hoping for, you know that Age of Calamity also gave us more Z-Link moments, like Link and Zelda moments. They were different than Breath of the Wild, but they have several instances where Link leaps to defend her and does incredibly dangerous stuff. As well as they changed the ending of how Link was almost supposed to die. And in Age of Calamity, he's being surrounded by 4 Ganon monsters that were attacking the champions. Like, they defeated the champions and they came after Link. And Zelda's being whisked away by Impa in that universe. And she sees Link is about to die. Yeah. And she quickly, like, squeezes out of the Sheikah's, like, grip as they're running away to safety. She runs back, completely powerless, and as she's screaming Link's name, like, really screaming it, like, you know, like, desperately, like, not, like, as a friend, but, like, the person I love is about to die, her powers manifest, and she becomes super OP.
Yeah.
That's what it was like in Age of Calamity, and there are several moments between Link and Zelda. Not to the same, like, the romance is very rom-com heavy, like, romance, like, based in Breath of the Wild. Age of Calamity and Tears of the Kingdom have very subtle scenes, but it's still heavily implied. The problem that I have with this game is Zelda was completely, like, lost without Link. Like, in Tears of the Kingdom, she was always thinking about him. Her thoughts are always... The tears that she gives you, the memories. She wants to show Link that she loved him because she was leaving these tears behind because she never thought she was ever going to be free of being a dragon.
Oh.
So the reason why she showed embarrassing things like that coffee scene with Sonya and Rauru and some of the other things where she's clutching the Master Sword for like thousands of years and imbuing it with power, her own sacred power. She never thought, she thought that, you know, I love this guy so much, I literally became a dragon. I am forever going to be stuck as a dragon, so I'm leaving these memories behind.
Yeah, it's almost like he got to show that he loved her, but she never got to show him that she loved him back.
No, she got to show him she loved him twice. In Breath of the Wild, she left the memory fragments to show that they had more than just an adventurous relationship.
Yeah.
She did that on purpose. You actually had to go to those locations, and then you had to piece the story, like, you have to piece the memories together based on continuity.
Yeah.
When she's mad at him, that's the beginning of their relationship. Saying things like, oh, you're just my dad's appointed, you know, whatever person to watch over me. And then as soon as she's rescued from the Yiga clan by Link, that look on her face is not a look of, oh, my BFF is here. Like, literally, it's like a night and day difference. Like, she's on the verge of death. He saves her, and her entire face lights up like it's Christmas morning. And then after that, she is, I wouldn't say obsessed with Link, but she follows him around, and she becomes very interested in not only what he does, but she expects him not to be reckless anymore, because she doesn't want him to get hurt. Before, she didn't care. She's like, you know, you're the knight, this is your job. But if he gets hurt and stuff, she worries about him. She's patching him up, she's touching his hair. She asks him about his father and his life, and like, are you supposed to be this knight? Is this your destiny? Do you have more that you want to do? You know? She confides in him, like, only after they get close, that she can't get these powers to manifest. She's like, isn't there something else I can do that, you know, the kingdom doesn't have to rely on me becoming, like, you know, this super OP character? Like, aren't I more than just these powers that I can't get to whatever?
Yeah, and I thought you told me there was some special scene in Breath of the Wild where there's some kind of memory unlocked or something where somebody says that, you know, they were really in love with Zelda, but she only had eyes for her appointed swordsman.
I don't remember if the cast mini... See, this is what I don't remember, but there's something called the cast quests, where you have to collect all these different songs. It's either in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, and it's a bird guy. And if you collect all these things, at the end, it's heavily implied that once you collect... It's like 12 song quests. When you do that, at the end, the guy who's there with you, like, putting together the songs, he tells you, my mentor was heavily in love with Princess Zelda, but based on everything that he saw, she only had eyes for her appointed knight, is what the Japanese translation was. I don't know what the American translation was.
Yeah.
You know, that was back before the age of activism, so...
I have to say, like, I felt like some of the comments were kind of weird in your short about Mipha, because honestly, like, Link could kind of be sort of interested in Mipha because Mipha paid him so much attention. But that doesn't mean he's in love with her. It could
No,
just
he
be
was
like,
he was never in love with her.
She
was in love with Link, and she planned on giving him the Zora armor, which if he accepted the Zora armor back then, that would mean they're engaged.
Yeah, there was some weird comments, like, that Zelda was just the backup from Mipha because Mipha was number one, but
No.
I feel that that's very kind of ignorant to say that, because Mipha and Link, honestly, like, even in Breath of the Wild, they Link and Zelda actually had a relationship. Like, they actually had a house together.
In Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. They were, like, building their life together.
Mm-hmm.
But even if they didn't have a house together, like, in Breath of the Wild, like, at some point, it definitely feels like she's given her heart to him. Like, she's just completely in love with him. So that's a little bit different than just, like, Mipha having a crush on Link.
Mipha had... It was a one-sided thing between Mipha and Link. But the thing is...
Exactly,
that
that's why
Zelda...
Mipha's so sad.
Mipha was... Even though she and Zelda were rivals, like, she was trying to help Zelda unlock her powers, and what she was trying to tell Zelda before the calamity happens, which... Calamity Ganon, like, happens, like, not long after that sequence where they're all together and Zelda's struggling unlocking her powers. She says, when I'm healing... She was trying to tell Zelda that my thoughts and how I'm able to use my healing magic is because of Link. So
yeah.
she was trying to give Zelda a hint that love is what activates power, like for these female maidens.
Mm-hmm.
But she was too embarrassed to tell Zelda because, for one, Link isn't looking her way, and two, here she's telling the girl who is her rival for Link's love how to use her powers. And Mipha's just kind of like, do I tell her this? You know, what am I... Do I really want to help out? I mean, the world could end, but, you know, this is going to put me further back with Link if I tell Zelda how to activate her powers. Like, this will make Zelda happy, but, like, what's this going to do for my own happiness? This is going to be very detrimental. So, do I do this? Do I don't do this? And she was going to do it, but then, you know, Calamity Ganon attacks. Like, the skies go red, and... The champions have to go to their respective places, and Mipha dies. But even in death, Mipha admits that she couldn't get between Link and Zelda because they're, you know... In that universe, she just couldn't. Because he would never look her way.
Yeah.
Which was sad. Like, I felt bad for her. Like, I've been in a... Sort of in a one-sided relationship. Like, but it didn't last that long. I was like, you know, this person's not interested. I'm not going to do that. But I had those feelings at one point for somebody, way back in, I think it was like late junior high or early high school. I don't remember. But I know what that felt like to really like somebody and they didn't, you know, they don't really care and they don't want to give you the time of day. So for me, that was one of the tragedies of Mipha's character. It was sad, you know, because it was like she is this wonderful girl, but she's investing all this time to try to beat Princess Zelda, who, for the longest time, Zelda wasn't aware of her own feelings. So it's like one of those things that's very common in animes, especially rom-coms, is one girl is completely smitten and bothering the main character all the time. The other girl is annoyed, but she doesn't know why she's annoyed with this other girl bothering, you know, the guy, and it's like she awakens to her feelings. Zelda is that type of character in Breath of the Wild. Like, she was always around Link 24/7. She'd never really thought about their relationship, and then when she was near death, everything clicked. That's a very common anime trope. And the way they wrote that in Breath of the Wild, you could tell the writer was also a huge anime fan because he kept the romance very subtle, but also those people who are familiar with that type of genre in Japan, I mean, it's literally given that they were a couple. Like, just based on all the stuff that they did in that universe. But every Link and Zelda, no, they're not. They're not a thing. It all depends on the Link and Zelda because every universe is different.
Yeah.
Yep.
So... I wanted to give Lady Mipha a hug and Zelda. Also Lady Kia after losing her dad. Not having time to grieve his murder, says Miss Deanna.
Yeah, that's what happens in war, though, is, you know, bad things happen and you have to, if you're a soldier or whatever, you have to put your feelings aside and do your job. As well as, you know, the lady who lost her dad in Age of Imprisonment, she became the ruler of her people at the same time. So not only did she have to become the champion of Rauru, but she also had to become the leader of her tribe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of See, this is stuff that I don't like about this game, though, is Age of Calamity gave us more character moments. We got to see more of the champions, we got to see more of their personalities, we got to see them hanging out with Link and Zelda more. It was great, and then they essentially retconned it and made it, you know, an Elseworlds thing. But this game, it does all these things like where the Zora lady, she loses her father, but she doesn't really get any closure, and we don't really get to see more of her emotions involved with that. And the same thing with the Gorons. The Goron Death Mountain, their entire civilization is almost wiped out. And we don't get to see those emotional moments of the Gorons, like how they feel about what Ganondorf did to the Goron people. It's just, okay, we're going to get together, we're going to fight, and we're going to go defeat Ganon. But you don't really get to see that. The Rito also are a wandering tribe of bird people because they lost Rito Village.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of terrible things that happen to the sages in this universe that Nintendo and Koei did not spend a lot of time on. As well as, one of the things I don't like about this game now that we're done with it, essentially, is in Age of Calamity, we got more Link and Zelda moments, as well as in Tears of the Kingdom, we got to see Zelda talking about Link. She only mentions Link a couple times in this game, and it's like she's all business. She just doesn't really... We don't see her in her thoughts, we don't see anything. She's just like an actual general in Dynasty Warrior, but what people forget about the Dynasty Warriors games, there is romance in the Dynasty Warriors games, as well as there are characters that get together and, like, you know, their whole lives change. So, like, look at Liu Bei and his girlfriend from the Red Nation, you know, the lady who becomes his wife. She was from a completely separate kingdom that they were at war, and them getting together is what caused peace, like, between their two families, like the Red family, I believe the family of Wu, and the family of Wei. Or wait, was it Wei? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
There's lots of different. I think Wei might actually be the purple people, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, Granddaddy Otaku said earlier, Skyward Sword, Link, and Zelda were a thing. Technically, we'll have to say that Zelda from Zelda 2 are a thing. Link and Zelda. That's confusing to me because the first Zelda game, it's implied that Link and Zelda are a thing, and then the second Zelda game, Princess Zelda from the first game is around. The lady that you awaken is another Zelda who's been sleeping like Sleeping Beauty for thousands of years. So, the fact that she kisses Link at the end, Link doesn't know that Zelda, but we never see the Zelda that we rescued in the first game. In the cartoon show, the Zelda from the cartoon show is based on the Legend of Zelda cartoon, and she loves Link. In fact, when Link dies and Ganon vaporizes him, his spirit is walking around the earth, and Zelda has to go on a quest to get his body back, but Ganon implies, you know, in his domain, when Zelda's sneaking around, he says, that's impossible that Zelda could see Link. And one of the minions to Ganon is like, what do you mean, Master? And Ganon's like, she could only see Link if she was in love with him. Oh, yeah.
And Link, who's right there, he's like, so...
You're in love
she's like,
with me,
now don't
eh?
get the wrong idea, Buster. And he's like, you love me, huh? And she's like, no, I do not. He's like, yes, you do, that's why you could see me. So, yeah, that was cute, and that was like 80s television, but even that Zelda had a thing for Link. It's just the cartoon Zelda didn't like how annoying Link was. She wanted him to be that heroic, you know, hero that he is when it's all business, but when he's with her, he's completely goofy because he likes her a lot. Like,
yeah.
He shows too much of his emotion towards her, that she fell in love with the heroic Link who defeats Ganon and protects her and stuff like that. She likes that version of Link's personality. She feels very uncomfortable with him being this lovesick puppy all the time asking her for affection. That's not the hero she fell in love with. She fell in love with the dude who rescued her And she doesn't like his personality where he's, like, following her like a lovesick puppy all the time. It bothers her. You know, she likes it sometimes, but he does it too much.
Yeah. Yeah, so... Yeah, to answer Jessica's question, the whole thing with Mipha making Link armor was basically, in their culture, you would only, like, make, like, a really important set of armor and give it to the person that you intended to marry.
Correct.
So, when Mipha, like, helps Link out and Link needs some special Zora armor, well, Mipha gives him this armor, and I don't think it occurs to him.
Well, he doesn't get the armor till Breath of the Wild. He doesn't get it in the past.
So, yeah, so basically, I think Link is, like, out of it, and he doesn't realize that, you know, that when she's giving it to him, what that means. He's kind of oblivious. It's like, hey, thanks for this armor, and Mipha's like, yeah, no problem. I'm just thinking, like, wow, dude, you don't realize that I'm only giving this one time to somebody that I love, and you're completely clueless. And so I think, like, in her mind, by her giving the armor to him, it's more solidifying the fact that she still intends to marry him, but for him, he's completely oblivious. Like, you know. So it's not, I mean, I don't know what would have happened if, like, Mipha had lived. Maybe he'd have to give the armor back and be like...
He never got the armor.
Oh.
He got the armor 100 years after Mipha was dead.
Oh, okay, never mind.
That's why that guy
but she
acted...
was making it
She made the
him.
armor for him, and she finished it, yeah.
Oh, she made it for him, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it was a custom in the Zoras that the Zoras would give a gift to the person they were going to marry.
Yeah, so she was intending to give it to him.
Correct. Yeah, she was intending to give him the armor. Or she was going to present it to him and see what he did.
Yeah, so it was almost like an engagement.
And then if he accepted the armor, then she was going to really go after him to the point where she wouldn't be afraid of Zelda. And it's not that she's afraid of Zelda. It's like Zelda is the queen, and she's like a champion under the queen.
Oh, right, yeah, Zelda rules, like, all of Hyrule, and the Zora is just one little part of Hyrule.
Exactly, the Zora is another part. Like, they have their own governing body in the Zoras. Obviously, they have kings and queens, but the Kingdom of Hyrule is under the full authority of Hyrule Castle and the royal family. So, it would be awkward. Like, Zelda would have to give her blessing of Mipha and Link being together, and you and I both know Zelda probably wouldn't let Mipha have Link if Mipha survived.
Yeah, I mean, like, too bad Link spent so much time with Zelda. If Link never spent so much time with Zelda, Zelda wouldn't have fallen in love with him. Because he would have just been a swordsman, and then he could have easily married Mipha. But I don't think he loved Mipha, so...
He had a thing for Zelda. Apparently there's a Link's journal that you can find in one of the games where he mentions some stuff, like, about how he doesn't talk and all this other stuff. But there is thanks to the Nintendo notes that we didn't do, like those extra things that you have to do, there's apparently a thing of dialogue that Zelda says that Link wanted to go to a place he discovered when Zelda was fighting the Calamity. And it is a beautiful lake. And Link went skinny dipping there. And Zelda, in the Zelda note, she's asking Link, like, why did you bring me to this particular lake? Did you want to do that with me there? So, I mean, I'm sorry, but you don't go skinny dipping with a girl who's your friend. Like, that's a romantic thing that couples do. And a lot of people are bringing that up to Nintendo, too, because that's part of the new Nintendo Notes thing. Like, that's what the Japanese translation says. That the Zelda actress actually reads that Link wanted to go someplace where he wasn't wearing his clothes, and he found this place to go swimming. and he wanted to take Zelda there, and she's like, oh, so you're implying that you wanted to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that they, like, were gonna live together in the same house.
They did live together.
So that's, like, extremely, like, coupley, because you wouldn't, like, I mean, it would be it is very rare that you would just have a long-term girl roommate for no reason, not any romance at all. That just it is almost impossible.
Well, even if you have a roommate for a girl, a lot of people nowadays, if you're shacked up with a girl, most of the time, sparks can happen when you live under the same roof. There's a lot of temptation. There can be alcohol involved, you know, and things happen with those types of, like, cohabitation things, you know?
It's like if they weren't a couple before they started living together, they'll become one while they're living together.
There's a lot of American sitcoms that were like that in the early 2000s, too, where you would have a female roommate in the show, and over the course of the show, they might end up having a one-night stand, or something happens that changes their relationship to more romantic. So, you know, if you're living together with somebody and you're not married and you're not related, sparks can happen. That's one of the dangers of men and women living together if they're not married, is that stuff can happen. Especially if one of you, has a crush on the other one. Like, that can happen. That's the danger of... you can't really be platonic that way.
Granddaddy Otaku says, I go skinny dipping with my homies all the time. We're all friends.
Okay. All right, sure. Okay.
Good to know, Granddaddy Otaku.
I know.
Maybe after work.
Okay, yeah.
It's a friend from work. Hello, Link. Link's like, you keep saying my name.
Yeah, I made a short
Look
about
at
that.
him. He's coming over.
People are like, what does he do when he hears his name so much in the Zelda games? He comes over to see what's up. He's like...
Yeah, he wanted to see... The whole story of Tears of the Kingdom was basically about Zelda's sacrifice and love for Link, says Granddaddy Otaku.
Correct. And the memories that she shares with Link are very private. They're literally tears of her subconscious that she's dropping all over Hyrule.
Yeah. Hello, Alpha. Hi, OH. Hi, Rafiki. Hi, Leo the Conqueror says hello.
Hi.
Hi, Suk Jun Yoon. OH says, wow, there was a Twilight Princess manga. I mean, was that even official? Says OH.
Yes.
Oh, wow,
There's been official mangas of A Link to the Past, aka Triforce of the Gods in Japan. There's been a manga of Ocarina of Time. There's been a manga of Twilight Princess, and there's been a manga of Skyward Sword. I don't think there was a manga of Breath of the Wild, which is crazy considering how popular Breath of the Wild was. Like, that to me is just crazy. But yes, there were... I have the manga of Twilight Princess. I have the Ocarina of Time manga. I do not have the Link to the Past one. And the Link to the Past one is a romance. It is.
I honestly feel that... My personal opinion, but I don't know if this is accurate, but I kind of feel like the reason why Mipha fell for Link in the first place was because Link is, like, an important, like, hero of Hyrule, and he had to, like, meet with the Zora people and other people, and, like, he lived in, he always had to interact with the Zora, so it makes sense that, like, maybe she spent so much time with him.
They were childhood friends.
Oh.
His dad was a big, like, a big important knight in Hyrule. And as children, Link and Mipha would play together. Like, the dad would come to the Zoras for business or to have his sword forged or whatever. Because remember, the Zoras are actually, like, really good blacksmiths, too. So relations with the Zoras was pretty good after the Imprisoning War and stuff like that. Like, the Zoras and the Hylians became, like, closer. So Link spent a lot of time in Zora's domain as a child and as a fledgling knight, like, starting out. And he and Mipha were very close, but he was completely oblivious to the fact that she loved him. He didn't find that out until after she died.
Yeah, he probably just thought she was a cool warrior Zora girl.
And, you know, maybe there was a possibility that he could have fallen in love with her because his memories are gone. Over the course of the game in Breath of the Wild, by collecting Zelda's memories, you're also restoring Link's own memories, as well as he's remembering his feelings. That's why Zelda asks you, like, plainly, like, thank you for saving Hyrule and all this other stuff, but I have to know, do you remember us? Do you remember me? That's why she asks him that, is because, like, yes, Link is back, and, you know, Link did all this other stuff, but does he remember his life with Zelda prior to that? Or is this just, like, is this a new personality for Link where they're going to have to start all over again? Or are they just going to be friends? Like, and if you don't do all the memories, you know, your interaction with Zelda is completely different. Because you're obviously, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that.
Who still remembers The Legend of Zelda 1989 in Western cartoon, says Jackie.
I do.
Oh, is that the one where it's "Excuse me, Princess"?
Excuse me, Princess, yeah. And the reason why they had Link say "Excuse me, Princess" is because when they were writing it, they thought that was a catchphrase of Steve Martin. It was a bit that he did in the 80s where he would go up to people and be like, "Excuse me," but he wouldn't say "Princess." It was just a weird. It was a weird bit that Steve Martin was doing in the 80s a little bit. And the guy who was writing, because everybody needs an important catchphrase in an 80s cartoon show. So when he was writing the Legend of Zelda show, like because the show was written in Canada, I believe, he saw Steve Martin's comedy act, and he was like, you know what? That would make a great catchphrase, and especially if I include "Excuse me, Princess." So that's how "Excuse me, Princess" was born. It was thanks to Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Because if you go back and you watch every 80s cartoon character, whether it's Optimus Prime or Duke or even Lion-O from the Thundercats, all the major characters in an 80s cartoon show had a specific one-liner that they would say that, you know, just summed up that entire character. Optimus Prime, it was transform and roll out. Duke was let's go for it. Or Yojo. Lion-O would be like where he would summon the other Thundercats. Trying to think. Like, there were so many different characters in 80s cartoon shows that had a distinctive either one-liner or a catchphrase that defined who their character was, and, you know, kids of the 80s would remember that character. Like, mostly we would remember the catchphrase. When I talk to most people about the Legend of Zelda show, like, as soon as I start talking about it, they're like, "Excuse me, Princess." So it's like, it's deep in their subconscious. That's what they remember about the show, specifically, is Link's catchphrase. And then the rest of the show, as they're talking about it, then they start to remember. And you have to keep in mind, there was only 13 episodes of the show.
Oh, wow.
Whereas,
the show was pretty famous for
right.
only 13.
Whereas most cartoon shows in the 80s, a first season had anywhere between 60 to 75 episodes. They only had 13, and most people my age still remember that show. That says a lot. Whoops. Is this King Raru again? It is. Link, what are you doing? I don't know. I just find it funny, though, gang, that basically, like, the internet had to track down the localizer who did it because they had to know, like, why was Nintendo just, like, going out of their way to destroy something they had been establishing for, like, almost a decade. And it turns out it was an activist, and they're just like, it's when you get that kind of epiphany moment, you're like, ah, okay, now it makes sense, you know? That, like, this was done deliberately, and for whatever reason they thought that people would just be accepting of it. But what I love about it is it's like so many fans around the world are just like, no, they're completely dismissing it because they're like, it was a clear inclination between this Link and Zelda that they were a thing. Like, between 4 games. And they're literally, you know, just coming to the the aid of Link and Zelda of that universe. And these are fictional characters, but it shows that the romance and the fact that they're a couple, it really resonates with, like, millions of gamers around the world. It's very important. It's not just any Link and Zelda to them. It's the Breath of the Wild Link and Zelda. It's the one that had those, you know, very heavily romantic scenes. So that relationship resonates with people, that they're willing to fight for it. And the fact that they track down the localizer and everybody's like, okay, everything makes sense now why they did what they did. It's made people feel a little bit better about themselves because they know that that person obviously doesn't like straight relationships. So. Link's catchphrase in the games? Ha! He makes grunt noises. Hut, 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 hot, sit. Say Or Link could be speaking ancient Hyrule and we just hear Zelda and everybody else, like, translated into our language. Like, Link could be, you know, could be speaking ancient Hylian with all his hits and huts. But the reason why they don't have Link speak is because you are Link. No matter if you were a girl or a guy playing The Legend of Zelda, you know, you're playing the role of Link the hero, so they're not going to have Link talk very much because they don't believe in that. They're like, well, you know, Link is your character, your avatar, and you're in this world, so we're not going to give Link a voice or anything like that. Because Link has never really had a voice, except for in the comics. And obviously Link is going to speak in the new Zelda movie. He spoke in the cartoon show, so why wouldn't he speak in the movie? So, they're saying that there's rumors going around about what the next Link and Zelda game is going to be. And it seems to be there's a lot of murmuring that Nintendo, for the next big Zelda game, is going to give us a remake of Ocarina of Time. So they're going backwards in time to another Link and Zelda that, you know, is very beloved by the fans, but the star-crossed lovers of Link and Zelda, which, you know how that story went. That story ended very badly for Link. Because Zelda sent him back in time to live his life, and he never got to be with her. That's a Link and Zelda that, you know, is very, very tragic, which is why we use the star-crossed lovers analogy. Like, they're lovers, but they're doomed to fail. Like, they're not going to work out. And a lot of that is Zelda's fault, because she sent him back in time when he didn't want to go back in time. So he had to go back and live his life as a child with all these memories of heroism. And in his entire life, he never achieved anything. No greatness or anything like that. It would have been a mercy if they actually erased his memories, but they just sent him back as an adult male into a child's body to live out his life, and nothing went the way he did. So that's why when he died as a soldier in Hyrule, he had so many regrets and he became the hero Shade. Because he never achieved greatness. Well, he did, and we know he did, but in the world he went back to, he was a nobody. I mean, that would be very, very, very difficult for somebody, you know? You go through, you did all these heroic things, you saved your kingdom, you go back in time, your girlfriend doesn't know who you are, she ends up marrying somebody else, you end up settling for some girl at Lon Lon Ranch, you have all these regrets, you finally get to do something worthwhile, like being in an army or something like that, and then you just die a meaningless death, and you cling on to all this regret, and you become a ghost. Like, that doesn't sound like a very fun life, does it? You know, so Ocarina of Time Link only has 3 options to him. One is the tragic route, you know, going back in time and living his life over again. You know, going back to obscurity. 2, dying. And then 3, succeeding and staying there. At least I think staying there, and then he dies, and of course Ganon comes back, and we have Wind Waker. But he only has one really happy ending, but Hyrule doesn't really have a happy ending if Link stays there either. So, you know. And also, some people believe there's a theory that Link's soul after Ocarina of Time is always reincarnated into, like, the, you know, a different hero. So it's like he's forced to keep fighting Ganondorf for eternity or something like that. I don't know if I believe that or not, though.
You're going in for sure.
But a lot of fans like to think of the whole, like, oh yeah, he just gets reincarnated over and over again. Link and Zelda both. It's like, I don't know. Maybe, but... There will probably be a leak for Ocarina of Time. Yeah. I know. I mean, I love Ocarina of Time, don't get me wrong, but... And I think a remake, if they did it based on the manga of Ocarina of Time and incorporated... Because remember, the manga came out years after Ocarina of Time on N64. And the manga was strictly Japan for a long time, and then they localized it sometime in the 2000s, and then they re-released it... years ago. I don't remember how many years ago. I think they re-released it 10 years ago with like a hard... I have a hardcover version of the manga. But if they combined elements of the manga of Ocarina of Time with the original game and the 3DS remake, I think they would have an amazing Zelda story. One that, you know, we missed out a lot of stuff, a lot of context to Zelda's story and Link's story in Ocarina of Time, that they have the ability now to tell like a very satisfying story for those characters in a way that could end up, quote-unquote, becoming legendary. Because there was a lot of story elements that they had to leave out because of the technology of Ocarina of Time back then on the N64. You couldn't really... I mean, you know, they did the best they could, but nowadays you could flesh out the narrative the way you did with Breath of the Wild, you know? And, you know, a lot of Zelda fans still love Ocarina of Time because of the time travel and, you know, all the different stuff that you do in it. So, doing a remake of that game near its, like, 25th anniversary or something like that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I think it's almost 25th anniversary. Something like that. But it is, you know, sad that Nintendo has basically stated they're done with Breath of the Wild universe. But we got 4 games, you know. I think we did pretty good. We basically got 4 games with the same Link in the 90s. You had A Link to the Past, you had Link's Awakening, you had Oracle of Seasons and Ages. That's it. Usually 4 games can be a thing, or 2 games. Sometimes you only get a direct sequel. I thought Wind Waker Link had another game, but people tell me that Spirit Tracks or Phantom Hourglass is a different Link. It's like, really? Because I always thought it was the same Toon Link, but maybe it's not. I don't know. I was never big into Toon Link, though. I just didn't like the animation, and I don't like the fact they made him a little kid. It bothered me. Bothered a lot of people, actually. Especially when we saw that there was, I don't know if you guys knew about this or not, but when GameCube was being shopped around, and they showed footage of Link versus Ganondorf at Space World, which Space World was a gaming convention, sort of. It was a press event. And they showed how impressive the GameCube could be. The first time we saw Link in, like, you know, glorious, like, GameCube-style graphics, it was Ocarina of Time Link versus Ganondorf, and it was just a tech demo. So then the next time that we saw Link, we journalists had the impression, okay, the Link that we're going to get is going to be this adult hero that's going to be, you know, very cool, and we're going to get, like, more mature storytelling and all this other stuff. And then they debuted Wind Waker, and everybody was stunned. Because, like, we saw this little cartoon character on the screen, and we're just kind of, like, looking at each other, like, what's going on? Where's the Space World thing? That's why, years later, when they first revealed Twilight Princess, which was just called The Legend of Zelda at that point, and they showed us the trailer, everybody in that room just, like, had a huge uproar. Like, we all lost our minds because the Zelda game that we wanted, Nintendo heard all the, you know, the belly aching and stuff that people thought about Wind Waker, and just sitting in that room and seeing that trailer, I've never in my life experienced a press event that electrifying that I will remember that the rest of my life. Like, the amount of just, like, how loud the cheering was when that trailer dropped, to my knowledge, there has never been a video game reveal like that journalists just, like, completely lost their minds. Because it was everything that we wanted for The Legend of Zelda. Like, it was like Nintendo heard all our deepest, most heartfelt wishes that we wanted for the Zelda franchise. And I have to say that Twilight Princess didn't disappoint. It changed a little bit based on that trailer. Like, in the trailer, Link was literally cutting off the arms of lizard men, and they had the tagline, blades will bleed and shields will shatter. It showed Link's shield breaking and all kinds of stuff. Like, it looked like a really intense, like, medieval drama, you know? And of course later that ended up becoming Twilight Princess, but it was still pretty incredible. It was like, holy cow, what is this? What are we seeing here? We're seeing history. So everybody lost their mind. In a good way, though. And I think that's part of the reason how Twilight Princess ended up becoming my favorite Zelda game, is from that experience of, like, I think that's when overhyping games started, was with that reveal of that trailer. And just to give context, that was a really boring press event for Nintendo. Like, the games that they showed that year were so blah that when they dropped Zelda at the end, it just, like, it blew everybody's mind, because it was like, it was such a lackluster presentation. It wasn't that interesting at all. And then when they revealed the Zelda trailer for us, like, the press that was attending, it's like everybody just, like, their minds just exploded. It was like, poof. Because nobody was expecting Nintendo to end their show like that. But I will never forget that. But they still didn't incorporate some of those ideas that they had. Like, I don't remember Link, outside of skeletons, being able to chop off people's arms in Twilight Princess. But he could do it to the Stalfos. But he was literally, like, hacking off limbs and stuff in the trailer. The original reveal trailer. But Twilight Princess changed so much over its first thing. I would have loved to be able to play the alpha build of Twilight Princess, though. Because the next time we saw Twilight Princess, it changed dramatically. Like, Link turned into a wolf and all this other stuff. Bop, 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 bop. And I believe in the original footage, Link didn't have a childhood friend, actually. He was trying to rescue Zelda. It almost looked like they were trying to remake the original Legend of Zelda game. That's what a lot of, like, theories were back in the day. They're like, oh, okay. We're getting a remake of the OG Legend of Zelda. Because it was just called Legend of Zelda. It didn't have a tagline of Twilight Princess or anything. They just called it The Legend of Zelda. That's what my publication wrote down. We ran with the story that they're remaking Zelda. It looks like it. Could it be a tentative title, or is it really going to be a remake of The Legend of Zelda? And we even wrote, they said, the new Zelda game is going to be a very mature, like, Zelda experience that has darker roots than what we saw in Wind Waker. So. And I think we were spot on. I think Twilight Princess is one of the darkest Zelda storylines, as well as the implications of darkness in it. But it's still one of my absolute favorite Zelda games of all time, if not my absolute favorite. Ow. Aw.
In Hyrule's name.
It's not Nintendo Jessica, it's a Nintendo employee. Like, if this gets a lot of attention, because you have to remember, they just started filming Zelda in, what is it, the Netherlands or something like that? Or New Zealand? One of them. They just started filming the movie this week. There's already been, like, pictures of Link and Zelda surfacing, and they look good in their costumes. Somebody caught them in the woods and filmed them, as well as they took pictures. So Nintendo doesn't want to have bad publicity with what a rogue localizer did. Because, I will tell you this, what I've heard from some Japanese people today is what it says in Hyrule Warriors 3, the dialogue or the written text, because all this is just written text of what Zelda thinks about Link. In Japanese, I've been told two different things, so if you're Japanese, you feel free to correct me in this. When she's talking about Link, she calls him her knight or my knight. And America interpreted that, or rather the localizer was like, yeah, no, I'm just going to call it my friend. Whereas, if a maiden is referring to her gentleman as her knight, or my knight, that is implying that they are an item. You know? For whatever reason, well, we know why the localizer did it, but... Uh-oh. I have to enhance weapons now. Okay, we're gonna go enhance weapons. Let's go. It's been a while. Do this, do that. Do I have enough money to do stuff? Maybe. Oh wait. We'll do this. Bump. So based on the wording of that, it seems like, you know, obviously they're a thing, but the problem I have with certain people is they go out of their way to ruin things for other people because they don't like something. When they're at their job, they don't do their job. They do whatever they want. So this localizer went rogue and basically ruined a decade's worth of, you know, fan love for like 2 characters. And there will be repercussions for that. Like, Nintendo of America is not going to be okay with that. In fact, IGN is quoting and saying that Nintendo of America, you know, allowed this when they probably didn't even... They don't pay attention to every single game that's being localized. So... And we don't even know if it was Nintendo's localization team or not. Like, this lady could work for... Koei. But, you know, we'll find out what's going to happen, though, because there's a lot of noise happening right now. There's no way that Nintendo can ignore this, because it will impact The Legend of Zelda, because, you know, it just will. It's a big deal that the person did that. So there'll be repercussions for that. It's not like fans are just going to be like, oh, okay, we just accept this. No. Like, for other Link and Zeldas, yeah, they would be like, we don't care. but it's the Breath of the Wild Link in Zelda, the ones with all the romantic scenes. That would be like going back and retcon everything that happened between the romance of Link and Zelda and Skyward Sword. Like, it would just... It's deliberately sabotaging that because you don't like that type of stuff. I mean, you shouldn't be bringing that angst to your job. Your job is to translate Japanese text and to make sure that you're translating it in a way that is authentic to what the original creators have in mind. These rogue localizers, they believe that when they're translating the games in their language, that they can change the story to fit whatever agenda they want. Which, there's a lot of people in anime localization that get in trouble all the time doing this stuff. Where they go and they change the original meaning of the dialogue between characters, and it completely changes how the show is perceived in that country. So it's a bad thing when they do this stuff. And they do it on purpose because they're just jerks. There's no rhyme and reason for it. They do it because they don't like what other people like, and they just want to ruin other people's fun. They find it funny because they see that, oh, I'm in a position of power, I can do whatever I want. They also think they're untouchable. So this person who did this probably doesn't even think Nintendo will fire them, but if this, you know, ends up becoming a bigger thing, remember, it's just the weekend. Like, this is still gaining traction. A lot of Japanese Nintendo fans aren't really talking about this because I follow Nintendo Twitter or Nintendo fans in Japan. They're not talking about it because their translation says "my night." This is only happening in America right now, America and Europe. But I'd be curious to see what Nintendo Japan says because we're probably going to get a romance of Link and Zelda in the movie. Especially if it looks like they're doing a subtle version of Breath of the Wild with Link or with Zelda wearing blue, but Link is wearing green. So I guess we'll find out. No, an activist hates them. Like, you can look at the... I'm not going to leave the lady's Twitter, but she's one of those crazy people that, you know, has been a part of the game industry the past, like, decade. She hates attractive women. She hates straight relationships. She doesn't like certain translations that Japan has, and you know, I think she's also an anime localizer as well. I think what she does is she's a localizer for different products in America. But yeah, she's one of those people. She lives up to the stereotype. I really wish these people would break from the mold, but they're all stereotypical. They don't even realize that they're living as stereotypes. What we find funny, though, is most of these people have been getting fired throughout the game industry. It's like, if I was, you know, part of that, like, agenda-based, like, game developer people or whatever, I would keep my head down so I didn't lose my job. You know, I'd realize that our time in the sun is over and we just need to do our job and stuff like that, or I'm going to get fired. So I don't understand why this person would even try to do something that stupid and not think that... Like, I hate to tell you guys this, but Z-Link fans are some of the craziest, like, shippers compared to, like, Sonic and Amy. They make FMV videos all the time. There's fan art. There's fan dubbing of Z-Link comics that have been around since 2017. Like, the movement of that ship is huge. So, of course, like, they're going to buy every single Zelda game and complete it 100%. And they're going to be looking for moments of Z-Link in every, you know, Breath of the Wild type, like, sequel. So, of course, they were going to find that, you know, that localization and compare it to the localization in Japan. Like, that wasn't just going to go away. They're not going to ignore that. Like, these guys are not as unhealthy as, like, Rilo fans were, but, like, the Z-Link crowd, they're very obsessed with Link and Zelda. As well as they consume every type of entertainment or media that Link and Zelda, of that, you know, Breath of the Wild universe is a part of. So they're the ones that discovered this. Of course they would. What's funny is they consider me and my wife like Z-Linkers, and we are, because, you know, we admit that, yes, they are a couple. But I don't agree with a lot of Z-Link fans that every Link and Zelda that ever was romantically involved. No. I don't believe that. And there are Nintendo games that prove that they weren't. So. But they're the ones that discovered this, so, you know. They've even gone to IGN and demanded that IGN print a retraction, because IGN is running with Nintendo of America says Link and Zelda are not a couple, or that Zelda has friend-zoned Link, and that's not what Nintendo Japan has said. Nor is it what Nintendo of America... Nintendo of America hasn't made a statement. It was just in the game. It's a mistranslation. And they're running with this huge story over the weekend that... And other publications are chiming in now, too. They're like, well, yeah, they've always been platonic and blah, 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 blah. And then what they do is they write their retrospective showing all the different Link and Zeldas. And as I've said before, you can't loop in the other Link and Zeldas from different games because they're different Link and Zeldas. They have a different story. They have a different relationship. Some Link and Zeldas were romantically involved. Some of them were just friends. Some of them were strangers. But Link's duty is always to save the princess because that's his job. There are some Links that make it more about, you know, doing it because the woman they love is in trouble. Like Spirit Tracks or Skyward Sword. Both of those Links moved heaven and earth in order to rescue their girl. And Breath of the Wild Link did the same thing. He did everything he could in order to save his girlfriend. That's very sweet. There's nothing wrong with that. Only weirdos have a problem with that. That's a very sweet, endearing thing, you know. It's kind of cute. Most people go, aw. An activist sees that and they're like, no! We can't have that! This is not allowed! I have the power to change this! I'm gonna change the writing! And no one will know! Mwahahaha. They don't even think they did something villainous, I don't think. I mean, they're not on social media today, but, like, they're gonna have a lot of stuff, like, tomorrow about them, probably. Like, when they go into work. Like, they have no idea what they've done. Like, I've never seen Z-Link fans in this much of an upheaval. Like, I'm worried that they're gonna turn into Snyder Bros. Like, they are really angry. Because some of these people, like, especially on YouTube, like, they make their entire YouTube career based on making Zelda and Link dub comics. Like, furthering the relationship and expanding on it from Breath of the Wild. That's all they do. Like, this is gonna mess up an entire movement of people that have a very unhealthy obsession of Link and Zelda. It's not just gonna go away. You know? So I don't know what this lady was thinking, but she's about to waken the sleeping dragon of Zelda fans. Like, this is going to be very interesting to see what happens over the next week or month or whatever, because they're not just going to let this go. Bet. Even I had to make a video on it. I couldn't ignore it. It was like, wait a second. You're gonna ignore all the stuff that you did in your games and just, okay. Alright, let's look at this. I spent 2 hours on that YouTube short. It usually takes me about a minute to make a YouTube short. I painstakingly found clips online and put them together, as well as I got music that would further my point to, you know, use romantic tension for the stuff that I was even talking about. I used the romance themes from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Which those songs only play when Link and Zelda are together. Like, so I did those on purpose. because sometimes music can set the emotional tone of a video, so I'm very careful when I hand select the music. I did that on purpose. Like, some people are like, wow, this video was so good, it made me feel something. It's like, aha! That's because I used music to get an emotional response from you. I'm sneaky like that. I did it on purpose.
Color me impressed.
What's funny, did you guys know in the Skyward Sword soundtrack, there is a literal piece of music in the very big Skyward Sword soundtrack that says romance. And it's the combination theme of Link and Zelda in Skyward Sword. So even the musical creator, the guy who did the composition for the Skyward Sword soundtrack, literally wrote musical pieces for romance for Link and Zelda in that universe. The same thing can be said, the memories, if you listen to the memory music for Link and Zelda, they're both romantic and whimsical, and they're all called Memories of Zelda, but different types of memories that Link has over the course of, and they're only like 1 or 2 minutes long in terms of like musical scoring. But the music describes a story of Zelda's emotions at that point in time. When she becomes more enamored with Link, if you listen to the Breath of the Wild soundtrack, there's more of like gentle piano music, whereas when they're just like kind of friends or just like work colleagues, the music is more laid back and it's not as emotional as like certain types of piano like compositions. So even the composer understood the incitement when they were putting together the cinematic scenes for Link and Zelda in Breath of the Wild. Like, the music reflects their relationship. Which is actually pretty clever if you think about it, but they do that in anime all the time. So it's not like it's something new. Case in point, I'm watching a brand new show called My Awkward Senpai. In the beginning, the music is very whimsical for the show, because they're not romantically involved yet, and as they start to like each other, the music changes to that of kind of like both of them having a crush on each other, but they're too scared to approach one another and ask each other out. Like, because, you know, when you're at work and you work together, there's a lot of concern about, like, dating at the workplace. Like, Japanese people, sometimes they're very concerned about, like, how the public will perceive them, or if their, you know, girlfriend at work is getting special treatment, if they're going to get, like, if they get too close, is one of them going to get transferred to another part of the company in another, you know, city or something like that. But the music reflects the tone of the scene in that show. So as they're getting more, like, blushy and crush-related, the music has changed for those characters when they're together. And that's a way that a composer will illustrate romance, in a sense, like for both anime and video games. So there are several Zelda games, the ones that actually have romance in them, where the music is setting the tone for the scene in a romantic capacity. Both Breath of the Wild, Skyward Sword, and Spirit Tracks do this. I know, it's just something I wanted to share with you guys because I find it interesting. But also, I'm a sucker for romance, so. Because I'm very happy in my own marriage, so. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oops, I forgot to throw those things. Linky, no! Why did you have to do that? Ugh. You smell horrible. He did a Link toot. But he's lying in your spot, and his tail was facing my face. Linky, go use the bathroom. Ugh. How could somebody that small smell so bad? Ugh. No, I need a clothespin for my nose. Ugh. Why, Linky? Why? Okay. Go over there. Scoot. Scoot. No! Fine, go further away from me. Okay, sweetheart. Yes, cats can pass gas, I'm aware. I just wasn't expecting it. Silent but deadly, yep. Oh yeah, we have to burninate him. Bump up a burnination. I do think it was a missed opportunity in this game. Like I said, Age of Calamity is full of, like, Z-Link moments. There is no Z-Link moments in this. Like, Zelda is all business in this, which, it makes sense. This is a game about war. This is known as the Imprisoning War, and, you know, I feel like we were robbed of a lot of Sonya moments between Zelda, though. I thought we were going to get to see more of, which was one of my hopes for Tears of the Kingdom, that we didn't really get to see Zelda spending a lot of time with Sonya because she died. And they killed Sonya off so quickly in this game, we didn't really get to see a lot of those, like, cute little moments between Zelda and her great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandma, you know? And, you know, a lot of people wouldn't have had a leg to stand on if they actually would have shown more of, like, Zelda thinking about Link in the past and stuff like that. But because... I said the thing. But because the game is a war-based game and Zelda's all about learning to become more powerful and utilize her powers as a sage and all this other stuff, we don't get to see her really talking about Link or anything. Like, she has no memories that they show. And what Nintendo is expecting you to do is they're expecting you to get the full story of, like, this universe. You have to play through Tears of the Kingdom. And, of course, that game is chock full of romantic stuff, right? But this game, they just made it solely about fighting and battles and strength and power. They don't have any, like, little human moments or, like, character progression at all compared to the previous Hyrule Warrior games where we get to spend time with the champions and all this other stuff. We don't know anything about the sages other than that their villages are destroyed or their, you know, their parents are dead. We don't get anything. Nothing. And that's a huge missed opportunity because it probably would have made me like a lot of these new characters more, but Nintendo doesn't give us anything. Like, it's like you're playing as strangers. Like, they're just not fun to play as, which is why I mostly play as Robo Link or Zelda or Rarus, because these are characters that we got to see their story extended upon in Tears of the Kingdom. But all these sages that we like to learn more about within the Imprisoning War, they're just empty character slates. They have a few cutscenes and that's it. They have no further character development. They're just characters you can play as. In terms of a Dynasty Warrior setting, that's incredibly weak. Yeah, it lacks all that. That's a bummer, though. Alright, so, guys and gals, we're going to have to push the YouTube shorts. I was really, really hoping the Zelda short would do better than just 2,000 views, but it is what it is. I would make a short of Link, but Link just let off a weapon of mass destruction, and I don't want to get close to him. So later on tonight, I'll film a cat short of him doing something, but right now I'm standing clear of him. I pushed him off my lap immediately when he let one rip. I was like, nope. Nope. Why'd I push him off? Because I'm having Tears of the Kingdom. I'm having, like... Yeah, my eyes are watering. Alright, so... if you guys could run those shorts in the background to help the channel out, that'd be great. We did get some fan funding from people, which is amazing. We got a super chat from Miss Deanna, and we got gifted membership. We got a little super chats from Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass Link are the same. Ah, Spirit Tracks is his descendant. Okay, I didn't know that. And thank you, Miss Deanna. Thank you, Leo the Conqueror, and Granddaddy Otaku for your fan funding. We really appreciate that. So you can see we're still tackling the red. As we go, more red continues to develop, which is annoying as all get out, but it is what it is. We still haven't reached the point yet where we can tackle the level 70 missions. I don't know if we'll ever get to, but this game, just so people know, like, this Zelda game is filler at this point, because we're waiting for solo leveling on Tuesday and Kirby on Thursday. Like, those are our newest series. I was really hoping that The Simpsons would be our series to kind of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? That The Simpsons would extend until November 17th originally, or November 16th. The problem was that The Simpsons didn't work out. So then I had to scramble and try to figure out what I'm going to do. And that's why I'm doing Mortal Kombat after this stream. Is I'm doing a one-time stream of the Mortal Kombat collection to show you guys all the games that are involved with it. And that's it. It'll get a one-off. And hopefully we'll get to do another stream of this tomorrow. But we're 3 hours in and only at 500 views, so... Oh yeah, we're having a wonderful discussion. That's why I don't like YouTube anymore. Like, I can be entertaining, I can do whatever I want, and they still withhold views from my stream. Even with fan funding, like, it's gonna be very hard to get another episode of this. So I'm trying to do as much as I can to push the stuff forward. So we're gonna be playing as Zelda this time.
This way, King Rauru.
Perhaps this
And both Link and Zelda are not even close to a level 70 yet. That is surprising. That is very surprising, actually. You can't find them? Oh. Oh, it never sent them. Oh.
I think they lost it.
I mean, it's possible.
Well, I don't know what I should do.
I don't know.
Try to order it again.
Dun, 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 dun. Wait, where did that one thing go? Did I end up using all those weird butterflies? I did not. I did? Huh. Wow, I guess I did end up using all of them. Oh, that's not good.
Thanks, like, I'm chilling like a villain over here.
Is he chilling like a villain?
Do villains make stinky things?
Yeah, people are like, stop picking on the cat. Cats have gas. It's like, yeah, but he was on me. How would you feel? I'm here minding my own business. You know, I'm kind of petting him in between, like, levels. Trying to be all...
He would get off if he was gonna do that.
Yeah, you would think he would have the courtesy to get off of me before he, you know, drops a bomb.
Go across the room.
And
And then come back.
exactly. He could learn proper manners. He's supposed to be the hero of Hyrule.
Scroll lovely.
Yeah, I'm still petting him. He's further away from me. He's like at a safe distance. You are a handsome boy, you know that? Yeah.
Let's go.
I mean, that's what cats do, though. Of course, I don't like that they stick... If they stick their tail in your face, that means they like you. But I don't... That's my personal space. I don't want to have your tail in my face. Especially if I'm eating, and especially if I know that your tail has been in your box. I don't want that near my face. I worry about E. coli and all kinds of stuff. Like, no. Yeah, I like you. But yeah, that's my problem with... I've had a lot of people ask me about the Hyrule Warrior game, and it's like, I want to like it, but even though Amber and I complained about the ending of Age of Calamity, it had a lot of character moments that, like, made us like the champions a lot more. We got to see more of their story. We just weren't thrilled with the fact that they turned it into an Elseworld story where everybody lives... And, you know, they cheapen the sacrifice that the champions originally had to go through. And what I appreciate about this game is that Nintendo let Koei keep it canon. And they wrote it in a way that it doesn't mess with the established canon of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Because the 3 characters that are introduced in this game don't serve any significance to the history of Hyrule because they're not recorded into the history of Hyrule. Only the people who are alive now, at this point in time, during the Imprisoning War, would know who Robo Link and the little Kokiri kid were, and things like that. Everyone else, like, for future generations, they don't keep a record of it. And, you know, that's a pretty clever way of being like, yeah, there's all kinds of different characters that you can play as, and there were all these people who helped fight during the Age of Imprisonment, or the War of Imprisonment, but they're not recorded in history, so it doesn't mess with the established story. So, you know, there's a lot of free liberties they were able to take because of that. The only other thing that I wanted to see, since basically Zelda's being rebooted, is essentially the Robo Link in this game is Fi. It's a part of Fi's consciousness as well as the hero's spirit. And it would have been nice, and I know they play Fi's theme in this, but it would have been cool to actually hear like Fi speak or something like that, because we only get to hear Fi speak to Zelda as, like, chirps and beeps. And Zelda can understand what Fi's saying in, like, Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, but we never actually get to hear the voice of Fi ever again. After she became the Master Sword fully, we never get to hear her voice again after Skyward Sword. So it would have been, you know, it would have been a nice send-off to fans of Skyward Sword if we actually got to hear Fi or something, or whatever. Outside of her appearance in, like, the first Hyrule Warriors game. That's just me. I really liked, like, Fi or Fi or whatever you want to call her. I am late for the Mortal Kombat thing. I'm aware of that. I'm 2 weeks late, but I needed a game to play. I needed another game to attract people to my channel while I wait for Solo Leveling to cover that on Tuesday. I'm well aware that I'm behind, and the stream might not do very well, and I might be out $40 or $50. I know, but You know, I do the best I can.
The more people like and share the stream, the faster the views will go up.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's not up to Luke. He can't. Streaming faster than he's streaming.
Is that all?
People need to like and share the stream. If there's like forum sites you guys can share on, you guys can share on like 5 or 6 forum sites a piece, and then this stream will boost in views. So it's really up to the viewers.
Okay, sweetie. Oh my goodness. Is there gonna be more things that I've noticed every time I beat one of these levels, more things pop up, more red. It's like I literally feel like the maid from the Incredibles movie. Can you guys just keep it clean for like 5 minutes? I just picked up after everybody. I just cleared this region. Now there's more of this stuff happening. For Hyrule. Uh, 324. Alright, so what's next? And the region's still not all blue yet. I don't have any, like, fully blue areas. I just have green areas. Alright, let's go to the depths. We're gonna change it up a little bit. Is this... Wait, is this considered the depths, or this... Yeah, this is the depths. Is this the depths? The Sketch of Skylands. Ew. Still under level. I could try it. This would be my first level 70. I don't know how we'll do, though. I'm 1 level under. Zelda Skylanders crossover. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but it wasn't on my bingo card for that to happen for Breath of the Wild, Link and Zelda. Like, I could see Nintendo saying something about another Link and Zelda and be like, oh yeah, totally, I see that, but... but Skyward Sword or Breath of the Wild doesn't make any sense. Alright, Corrupting Gloom. Let's see if we can do this. Yes?
This way, King Rauru. Wonder what's gonna happen.
Okay. It still wouldn't be the Knight construct if it was Fi? Yes, it would. I mean, Fi is the Master Sword. The Master Sword is female. That's why there's great significance that the Master Sword, you know, seals the darkness. I don't know, sweetheart. Meow. Lizard. No, we don't want to do that. I mean, you could try to leave the exercise machine for them, and they'll move it. Yeah, of course. It's all you can do. Luke and Amber's knowledge about Zelda is so cool. I'm a Zelda super fan, so... Also, my wife calls me a hopeless romantic. I'm very obsessive compulsive when it comes to certain romances in media that I really like, whether it's Link and Zelda and Breath of the Wild, Kirito and Asuna and SAO. Nightwing and Batgirl in the comics. You know, there are certain relationships that I really like in pop culture that it just makes me happy they exist, as well as it makes their story more compelling. Like Asuna and Kirito, their story wouldn't be as wonderful as it is if they didn't love each other. If they were just friends, the whole ending of this first season of SAO loses all meaning and purpose. It's because of their love for one another that they're able to do great things, and how they're so protective of each other. It's a wonderful thing. Like, the power of love is a very important thing that should not be shunned in society, or mocked, or scorned. And you shouldn't try to remove established relationships with characters, because that not only does it mean something to someone, but also that relationship, it's important in the grand scheme of, like, just society. It's like, you know, having Snow White basically randomly dump Prince Charming. You know, it sends a bad message. And the fact that we know that the message was done by an activist to begin with that just completely despises straight couples because they're stereotypical, you know. They're one of those people. It just makes everything look like it was done out of spite, honestly, which we know it was. So now we just have to wait and see what Nintendo's going to do tomorrow or sometime this week, if they're even going to make a statement. And, you know, IGN has become a tabloid for the gaming industry. They're not really a respected journalist branch anymore. They do whatever they can to get people to come to their website. So they're very clickbait heavy. And they like to do things that alienate people, especially gamers. So they've been running with this story about Link and Zelda being friend-zoned for the past 48 hours now. And they keep reposting it and things like that. And it's getting the attention of really big Z-Link influencers. Like I told you, people that write the fan fictions, and they make the AMV videos, and they make the comic dubs and all this other stuff. Like, these people are becoming very aware of what's happening with the Hyrule Warriors game that many of them passed on because it didn't look like a game that, you know, they wanted to play, as well as it didn't look like Link was even going to be involved with it, so obviously there wouldn't be any Z-Link stuff. The fact that that girl, or that woman, or whatever, went out of her way to cause this much dissension over a beloved official character, like an official ship and stuff like that. Like, it was just wrong to do something like that. But you have to understand, these stereotypical people, they do this stuff all the time. This is why there was a culture war in the game industry to begin with, is people like this. They didn't want you to be able to, you know, tell the difference between men and women in games. So that's why they gave you Type 1 and Type 2. They didn't want women to be attractive in games, so they tried to make female protagonists look as ugly as possible. And they also tried to, whether it was in comic books, anime, or video games, they tried to break up as many straight relationships as possible. Because they don't like straight people. Like, all of it is to further an agenda. And you can't say otherwise, because it's true. That's what these people do. That's why they're a stereotype. They're miserable people that always have to make other people miserable. I'm just surprised that they tried to pull this off when so many of them are being fired from the game industry. It just doesn't seem like it's, you know, the smartest move, because it's going to make it very easy to get this person fired now, because it's not like, you know, if I, as I said before, if I was one of those crazy activists and I survived the mass firing of 2024 where 9,000 people got culled, basically, I would keep my head down and just do my job, and I would stop trying to push my agenda. Because I'd want to keep my job, right? These people are stupid because they're doing things that are putting them back in the public eye, but they're so blindsided by their own agenda that they can't help themselves. Like, you know, you could scream and wave your arms that they're about to run the Titanic into an iceberg. They would still plow into it because they just want to. There's no rhyme and reason to do what they do. They just do it. They can't help themselves. They think that they're, you know, still a part of the culture war or something. I don't know. Like, logically, it doesn't make any sense what they're doing, but they don't have logic or reasoning. So, I mean, to think about it any other way is pointless because there's no helping people like that. You'll never figure out why they did it. They did it because they wanted to. It's not that they... Some people are like, oh, they just misunderstood the translation. It's like, no. Based on the previous companies they've worked for and things that they've done, yeah, no. I'm like the meme from Sure Jan. Sure Jan. It was all an accident, uh-huh. Homie, don't play that. Whoop, 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 whoop. But as we said at the beginning of this stream, like, there are Link and Zelda that are totally just friends, but there are also Links and Zeldas where Link got out of the friend zone. And to try to loop in all the Zeldas and Links as the same type of, like, oh, they're just friends, or, you know, they're strangers, they don't know each other, when literally there were games written to showcase the romance of that particular universe, is just really bizarre to me. And I won't be the only one talking about this. There'll be a lot of YouTubers talking about this over the next week or something like that. I was just lucky enough to be on Twitter last night and to see all the crazy stuff IGN was doing, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to make this short, and hopefully this short will do really well. Because it's important to get the message out there that, you know, NOA has no idea what they're doing. But it also, too, it shows you how out of touch Nintendo of America is becoming with their own fandom. And Nintendo of Japan, that's literally trying to... They've banked on this Link and Zelda coupling for the past, like, almost decade. It's just funny that they would go about this. But, again, the Japanese translation of Hyrule Warriors 3, Zelda refers to Link as my knight, or her knight. She never says friend. But she also doesn't say anything more than that. But the wording of stuff is important. Like, Link is hardly mentioned at all in this game, which is a shame, but it's not about Link's story, it's about Zelda's story, because she was the one who was in the war fighting Ganondorf during the Imprisoning War. That was something that Zelda did. Link is still in the future. And a shard of the Master Sword is what sent Zelda, along with Raru's gem, back to the past. It was a combination of the Master Sword and the Time Stone that propelled Zelda thousands of years into the past. You needed both of those things in order for that to happen. Which, I'm glad this game showed that. Link still hasn't hit level 70 yet? What? How is... What? Link still isn't at level 70. He's been at level 69, like, since the start of this stream. This stream's been on for 3 hours, and he still hasn't hit level 70. No. But I can't tackle the level 70 stuff unless I'm a level 70. It's just kind of annoying. You see how more stuff pops up, guys and gals?
This is great.
Like, it's just constantly more and more. Like, every time you complete, like, a wave of stuff, more things pop up. It's just, it's almost, like, endless. That's why the Mr. Incredibles thing works so well. It's like, I've just did this. Can you guys keep it clean for, like, 5 minutes, please? Meow. Yeah, I hate to say it this way, but only an idiot would be able to see all the stuff that happened between Link and Zelda and Breath of the Wild and just think they're friends. Like, not only the implications there of romance, but the music sets the tone for the romantic scenes. Like, music, if you've ever taken music theory or anything like that, music sets the tone of a scene. When you do, like, compositions for film or video games, or like TV show, or even like radio broadcasts. Music is an emotional piece that you use to further enhance a scene. There are literally pieces of music written in both Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild that mention romance or memories or whatever. You know? They're done in a deliberate way to showcase Zelda's emotions, and piano and violin music especially is used to basically describe a woman in love. So the fact that you have both violin and piano for a lot of Zelda's themes in Breath of the Wild, especially ones where the scenes take place after she is completely smitten with Link, when he saves her from the Yiga clan, the entire musical undertones of those cinematic scenes shift into more romantic sounding themes. So, like, you also have that argument, too, if you really wanted to bring that up, but I'm sure not a lot of people have taken music theory, so. But there's that. Weren't we in the depths? Yeah, we were in the depths. Defending Hyrule. Alright, we'll do this one.
Go wandering off, bud.
Didn't know that animals could be stinky? Yes, they can. Yeah, we might have to take a break, guys, and make a Link short. We're, I need you guys to run the shorts playlist in the background, if you haven't already. Because we're just barely going to scoot by. I mean, I'm definitely going to have to make a short, but I'm not even going to make... Either I got to jump now, or I gotta hope that you guys can, you know, run that short in the background. Because I got less than 15 minutes. Yeah, about less than 15 minutes before the end of the hour. And the stream will still go on. It's just like, I'll have to, you know, make a YouTube short or something like that of Link. Link looks like he's vegging out, so it could be a funny short. Because we have to constantly be doing... even though live streaming is fun, we have to constantly keep an eye on our hourly views, and there's so much going on behind the scenes that we have to be consciously aware of. And I am very aware that my hourly stuff is dipping, like, very badly. Which it shouldn't be, but it is. Which sucks. Meat. This. This. One of those, I guess. One of these. No. 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 Wish there was an easy way for me to remember all the ones that do double duty. Ones that do both speed and attack. Speed and attack. Speed and attack. There's a rock. That's attack. Nope. 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 No, that's just attack. I need speed and attack. Needed to do double duty here. No. Is there not one that does speed and attack? I thought there was. I guess there isn't. I thought there was. But there was something that did speed and attack. Huh. Maybe I used all that stuff. I mean, I've done so many streams of this, it's possible that I just ended up using all that stuff. No. That's a beetle. Is there like monster guts or something that does? No. No, that's not it. There we go. It took a while, but haha. So our goal is to get Link to level 70. That's our goal. Okay, defending Hyrule. Okay.
To battle.
That's a cute little yawn. That's a cute little yawn. Oh, we got these creepy things. Well, we burned them alive. Gibdos do not like fire. Going all the way back to A Link to the Past. They no likey fire. Why? Because usually they're wrapped up in bandages. Okay, we need to change that. We need to give this boy some fire attacks. Meow. Huh. Oh, that's Raru. No, we don't want Raru. We want, this guy. Flame on. There we go. Blub, 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 blub. Nyaha! See? They don't like fire. These things, I don't think it matters if you do fire or not. No. It's just a creepy moblin guy. Switch! Not enough. That's what you get. Okay, I can't see what I'm doing. That's one down. No, I think that's overkill. We don't need to do that yet. Now he just does the shield smash whenever. He didn't used to. Alright, Rauru, get over here.
If you insist. Raring to go.
Man, it's still not dead. That's annoying. No. Success! But it's not over yet. Oh. Oh no. Stand clear. Now I would do the team up moves. Are you gonna do the team up moves? No. Whammo. Ow.
Still going. Know what to do. Raring to go.
Oh, that's right. We're not even tackling a level 70 thing yet, are we? No. I thought we were, but no. Well, that would have been nice if that did something. Nope. Get him! There we go. Ow, I pulled something. Am I gonna have to dip? Alright guys, I think we're gonna go on the first break, because I have to make a YouTube short real quick. This will be the only break on the stream though. Can you max out your hearts? Probably. Not sure though. Alright, so that was a level 62. Oh, more of Hyrule is starting to open up. Kind of, sort of. It's looking a little bit better, but there's still... I think there's still little pockets of resistance places. I don't know. I mean, there's still a lot to do, but I won't do it all. Like, that ain't happening. On the road again. Yes. 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 Oh. 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 Okay. Alright guys, like I said, I got to make a YouTube short real quick, because we're not doing well. Gotta put views into the channel, as opposed to having YouTube take views away from the channel. But the stream is doing a little bit better. It's getting there. So maybe we'll do another Hyrule Warriors tomorrow. It's possible. A lot better shape than we were yesterday. Alright. I'm gonna go bother Link with a short. I'll be right back. Alright, Linky. Time to earn your keep, little buddy. Meow. Meow, meow. Alright guys, we're back. Thanks so much for watching the Zelda short. I would keep clicking that to help with stuff. We still got a little bit left of this stream. And then I gotta get to the Mortal Kombat stream. But like I said, we have to constantly be doing stuff on this channel in order to keep it alive. So, unfortunately, Link ran away from me. And I wasn't able to film a short of him, but thankfully I still had a bunch of clips from the Breath of the Wild game that I used on my phone today, so I looked over our channel and I never saw that we posted the exact moment Zelda fell in love with Link as a short, so I figured, may as well. The timing is right for, you know, reinforcing that, so I was like, okay. There you go.
This way, King Raru.
So we did that. It's all fun. Bomb. No bomb. No bomb right now. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. There's no boom anymore. Why is there no earth-shattering kaboom? I thought the bomb is supposed to have some type of spark to it. Okay, well, let's finish off speed, because we got the need for speed. And then, I don't know what else. I do another bomb, another lizard? No? Fish? What is this? It's a lizard. I'm not sure where to get that lizard again. I'll do that. Ta-da! Oh my goodness. Let's see, where are you guys? You have... Alright, you almost have 300 views on the Link short. Good job. Good job. It's raining! Alright, Zelda, let's do this. Let's get you up to level 70 if we can. Could be super important, right? Yeah. Totes. And still, we only have one character that finally hit level 70, and that's Robo-Link. Zelda is a level 67. So she's getting there, but I don't know. I feel like the characters in the previous Hyrule Warriors game leveled up faster. Maybe it's just my imagination. Let's go! Well, that's rude. Uh-oh. Boom. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing there. I need to go... Ah.
I won't betray your trust.
Okay, Zelda. Let's go. Which is... this way? I believe? Yes, this is the correct way. Okay. So this is what you want to get the speed upgrade, by the way, so it doesn't take too long to traverse to where you need to go. You can see Zelda's faster now. 'Cause I had some people ask me, why do you keep doing all those food preparations before each match? It's like, so the character gets faster, stronger, and gains experience better. Otherwise, I'm just replaying the levels and they don't, you know, not a lot happens with it.
Certain nice construct.
Ow.
I won't
What?
betray your
What?
trust.
What? The bomb's away! I didn't do as much as I wanted to. Now Linky's eating his food. Good boy, Linky. This is the way. Hey, big guy. Ow. Well, that was rude.
Leave it, Kalamo.
Raring to go.
Leave some for Zelda, Robolink. Wait, that's not Zelda. Where's Zelda? There she is.
My turn then. Move. I'm all move. I can't move. I'll not let up. Prepare yourself.
Success! Alright, level 71 for Link. Not even one level for Zelda. Come on. That's irritating. That is irritating! More green? Alright, no more evil. Vicious Battle of Central Hyrule. We can try it. We can try. Can I buy more meat? Yes! Arby's, we've got the meats. We got the meats, yo. No, no, no. Buy all of them, fool. Yeah, there you go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, our first level 70 quest. Let's do it. Vicious battle.
This way, King Rauru.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? Vicious battle. That's what it says. Okay, now we need the meats. Boom. Boom, boom. 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 Aha. Now we just need that attack up. Bam. Alright, let's see if we can handle level 70.
Onwards and upwards.
There we go.
To battle.
To battle. Let's see how the princess is able to do. Not very well. We get one? No. Wait, maybe. Wham! Alright, so far so good. And these characters are severely underleveled.
Sir, Knight Construct.
Severely underleveled. Ow. Okay, where are we going? So this one isn't timed so far. What? Oh. Okay, I see where we're supposed to go.
As you wish.
Whoops.
I can't do this alone. Good thing you won't.
Boom. Did nothing.
Nice construct.
Go, go, go.
Kalimov.
My turn then. I'll strike. I won't betray your trust.
Nope, level's not over yet. So far, too easy. Way too easy. Rally together. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Whoops. No, we're not going to use the super move yet. It's too soon.
Not yet. I won't fall. Now it's my turn.
Meow.
By my side. Nice construct.
No, we have another Lionel? What is that?
Sacred light.
Oh no! Whoops! Whoops, 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 whoops! Teamwork!
Right. Yeah.
Thank you, honey. Stains? I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, they're tearing up the carpet tomorrow. Yep. Great job, thank you. I know. I know. Yep.
In Hyrule's name.
Wow, we did it! Our first level 70 level. Awesome. Makes sense, honey. I wouldn't doubt it. No, I cannot. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, keep up with the YouTube thing. Did Zelda finally hit level 70? Let's go. Link level 72. Zelda 70. Okay. Alright, that made for actually a pretty interesting level.
Hey, you working at this job sure made it so I could lift it's heavier than what I used to.
Thank you, QP.
No problem. Let's go. It was awesome.
What is that?
Now that's how you do it.
What did I get? I don't even know what that is. Is there anything else beeping on the world map? It doesn't look like it, no. Central Hyrule, blah 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 blah. Now there's one level I can't do that I don't want to do. That's Reclaiming the Desert. I can't do that one. Time limited, special conditions. Or was it this one?
Alright, tomorrow I'm gonna have to put a link in there somehow.
I know.
I don't know how late you think you're gonna be up to tonight.
I'll only be able to stay up until at least 1. I'm pretty tired today. Sorry. It is 9 o'clock. 9 even. Okay. Why I wouldn't forget Emperor. Mm-hmm. I know. We bought this. Hooray. Ah, what's this?
Simply magnificent.
More food items? Ah?
I've further yet to go.
Bow of Light. Upgraded. Hmm. Probably Sweet Pea. What's left to do here? A lot. A lot is left to do. Oh my goodness. What is this? Recommended level 31. Limited restricted. Gibdo hives have been discovered. The Gorito Desert, unable to stay, finds himself reluctantly joining up the extermination force. No, I can't do that one. I think that's at one level I can't do. So limited. Reclaiming, blah blah blah. Still got it done. Mostly.
But I'm gonna go look outside for my hat and my t-shirt.
Okay, honey.
Sorry that I didn't get to work today.
It's okay.
It's not.
That's done. Alright. Could try this. Level 67.
Go wandering off, bud.
We shall try this. Boom. Boom. Boom, boom. Nope. We want to do the other thing now. One of those. Huh. Oh, I see him running out of that stuff. What am I supposed to do with all these? Huh? What? What is that? Why are you loud? What is going on? Yes, darling.
You said you wanted juice?
Mm-hmm.
I got you juice.
Thank you very much.
Alright, I'm going to sleep. I'm gonna try to get up at 1 or 1:30. Zelda has new food and new water.
Yep.
So, as you can see, hanging out
I know. Remember, sweetie, like with your promotional stuff, don't promote the older videos because they don't show up at all in our analytics. Not even a little bit. But honey, the only one of our past videos that's still in our analytics is Lego Harry Potter Collection Part 1. But I know, but you're just... Right. I don't want to say it like that, but that's basically what's happening. What is the point of doing 3 tiers of this? Okay, whatever. I mean, it still only gives you the same bonus. Whatever. Yeah. You're back from eating dinner? Great. Alright, here we go. I think this is going to be the last one, and then we can get to Mortal Kombat.
I'm setting out.
Because the Zelda short did its thing. Or it's doing its thing. Yeah. Good, 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 good. All good, all good. Alright, no, we're not being you. There we go, that's who we want. Yeah. Very sweet, honey. There we go. And that's how you do that. And I guess we'll go this way. I have to defeat another electric moblin. Oh, the window glows down there? I always have the window open down there. Yep. Die. Oh, it didn't die. Wow. Yep. Love you too, honey. I know. Was it still 400 or less? Okay. I know, honey. This dude's wearing a loincloth. I just now realized that. Oh my gosh. Silver Bokoblin. Big Bokoblin guy is wearing like a sumo loincloth thing. It looks really disturbing. Success! Yatta! Did you say snow? What? Oh, I thought you said snow. Yep. Yeah, I know.
I didn't think I could get any
We have to
stronger.
finish the inspection too. What is this? Sketch of Central Hyrule. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I know. Is there one more we can tackle, or we did pretty well? Looks like we did pretty well. So there's only a little bit of red left that we can save for tomorrow. I don't even see... There's one level in particular I can't do, though. And that's the one... Yep, see you, baby. I know. Recommended level 53. Alright, we're gonna do one more level. Uno mas. Uno mas. Okay. We'll do this one little pocket here. It's a level 30 level. It should be no problem.
Perhaps I can use this time for fortune favors the bold.
Yeah. That. We need to find ways of filling out our speed. There you go.
I must say,
Alright, let's do it.
This has grown quite lovely.
Last level, Zonai Siblings. Last level till Mortal Kombat.
To battle.
Remember, guys, keep pushing the Zelda short. Thank you very much. question is, who's going to go on the thumbnail tomorrow for Hyrule Warriors? I don't know. Bop, 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 bop. There we go. No, I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be you, Minoru. So how many of you guys thought that you were actually going to get more cutscenes with the siblings and stuff like that? It just, I don't know. It feels like the big emphasis on this game was the tag team moves, but they really didn't give us a lot of the story of the sages. Which is just, I don't know, it's a little weird. I feel like that Minoru and Rauru have just as much screen time as they did in Tears of the Kingdom. I was hoping for more, a lot more of that, but nope. If you think about it, most of this game's story was taken up by the Link construct and the Deku Shrub guy. So we didn't really get to see a lot of Rauru's sister, Sonia, Zelda. A good chunk of the levels were taken up by the Link character. It's just an observation I've seen.
I'll not disappoint.
While he was busy doing other parts of the game, we kind of missed out on what Rauru and his, team were doing in the Imprisoning War against Ganon. Oof. One down. Ow.
Indeed.
This is the way. The lizards mark the way forward. Oh. No. What is that? Oh, that. Oh, I know what that is. I know what you are. Dead meat. Ha!
This is quite exciting.
Ow.
Fine up.
His elemental weakness. Haha.
As you wish.
This is a great sibling move here.
It's over.
Boom!
In support.
And the weak point. Success! Toast. Read me like an open book, sister. Haha. Blah, blah, blah. How was my day today? Had some problems with my neuropathy, so my legs were, like, on fire today. Other than that, I'm okay. Just had a lot of pain. Pain, 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 pain. How in the world could that pop up in that area? That's annoying. Alright. So there you go, guys. That is going to do it for Hyrule Warriors today. Next up is going to be That one game. Mortal Kombat. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hyrule Warriors will continue tomorrow, and it'll be the last Hyrule Warriors for a while. Because on Tuesday is all about solo leveling. Arise. So, yeah. And then on Thursday, maybe we'll beat solo leveling by Thursday. I don't know. I don't know how long the game is. I don't know anything about the game. I just know it comes out on Tuesday. So maybe we'll get back to Zelda if we don't, you know, finish all the stages tomorrow. But you'll be redirected to Mortal Kombat and all that fun stuff. Make sure you guys keep watching the Zelda short that went up. You have an hour left to get as many views as possible on the Zelda short to make it worth a darn. So, yeah, just heads up. Okay? Alright, guys, I will see you on Mortal Kombat. Thank you to Granddaddy and Miss Deanna and the Leo the Conqueror for the fan funding today. You guys are breathtaking. Thank you very much. And see you on Mortal Kombat. That is the plan. Which we are a few days late, but it is what it is. I had other things to do. Alright guys, God bless, happy gaming, see you on the next one.